first, let's quickly go over our posture. So can you quickly show me where you're reading your music off of? Do you have like a music stand or is it can you show me what it looks like? Okay. So, one advice I think a reason why you might be kind of crouching is because your music stand is um at your eye
Hello?
level, right? So if your music stand is right at your eye level, then you're gonna need to like kind of crouch and look at it. But if you make it a little higher on purpose, then it makes you stand up, right? So that because you need to look a little higher. So I think that will help you to, have a more flat parallel posture like this instead of, leaning downwards. I know when you stand up and play, you don't play like that. I've seen you play before and you have a very nice posture, but sometimes when we sit down and play, it's very easy to, hunch over. And I've experienced that too. So, yeah, an advice I have for you is to kind of lift your music stand. Do you see how mine, it used to be like this. So when I looked at it, I had to kind of go like that. But if I raise it up like this, right? Then I need to look at it like this. So I'm not crouching, right? So I think that'll help you. So try that, and I think that'll help your posture a lot more. Otherwise, your posture is perfect. I love your bow grip, and I never see you going into the fingerboard here. You always stay here, so that's good. And yeah, so everything else is good. Just try and not hunch, right? So, yeah, but other than that, I think you're fine. So let's get into our gavotte. Hopefully, you were able to practice some of it. Okay. So where is the expand? Hold on. Okay. So I think last week I told you to just practice your intonation overall, and then that you know what's in tune and what's not. So I think that is something you can practice on your own. But what something that you might need more help on is how to do these phrasings, because that's something that's hard to figure out on your own, especially if you're an intermediate student, right? So, um, let's today just focus on phrasing because I think to fully understand this piece, you need to have everything. And right now, you've got the rhythm and intonation, but that is something that, like beginner students, they just get the intonation, rhythm, and play. But something that you notice when you listen to those kind of people play is their song sounds very flat and it sounds very emotionless, right? Because they're just playing the notes. They're not really putting in emotion and they're not putting in any phrasing. So I want to get you to be a little more advanced than those type of kids. Um, and I'm not saying that they're bad. It sounds good, but I think this will really enhance your playing even more. So, can you show me? I think I had you practice the first opening theme. So, can you show me what you practiced up to here? And try your phrasing, the phrasing points that I gave you. Nice! That sounds very good. I can tell you practiced. So good job. First thing, there's not too much volume, but there's one thing that you need to work a little more on in those signs. On top of below the notes, those notes you need to get softer. So your volume needs to go from medium loud to very soft. So just try your best. I know it's kind of hard because you need to execute your bow in a way that's you know, very like, it needs to be strong and then soft right away, right? So it's kind of hard, but I think you can do it. So for example, let me play starting from here. Okay, so okay. Do you see how I got softer? And my bow also got smaller, right? Because if you play long bow, it's very hard to do a decrescendo when you have lots of bow speed and bow usage. So a tip I have for you is whenever you see a decrescendo, make your bow smaller. So I only used this much bow for those 2 notes, right? So why don't you try that? Try what I just did. Yeah, that right there, what you just played, that was a perfect decrescendo, but I want you to be able to do that when you play from the beginning. Okay, so try again, do what you just did. That was so good. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's exactly what it sounds like. So good. Keep that in your head. And whenever you see a decrescendo, just remember that, okay? So that's exactly how I want you to play. Can you try from the beginning and then do both decrescendos? Can you try that?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, good. You have this more kind of structure towards your piece and it makes it sound more more, you know, more prettier and more enhanced. So good. Let's move on. I want to get to some other phrasings as well. So I'm gonna delete these. Yeah, okay, let's move on to this section. So it's gonna end here. Let me see what I want you to play here. So okay, so this section's a little harder. So here, louder. And then you're gonna keep at that same volume throughout here. And then now we see a big crescendo, right? And this is a decrescendo, and this is a crescendo. What does a crescendo do?
Bigger?
Yeah, it gets bigger, right? It gets louder. So if we have a mezzo forte here, it's a little louder, and here we're gonna get more louder. So at this point, you should have, let me scroll a little bit down here. You're gonna, actually, let's work on this first, and then I'll scroll down. So this is a little confusing. It can be a little hard at first, but you can do it. So let me ask you a question. If for decrescendo you use smaller bow, what do you think, how much bow do you use for crescendo?
A little longer?
Exactly, you use more bow to produce a louder sound. So in the beginning, there's piano, so you're gonna use a little bit of bow. Very, you can think of this as a tiptoeing kind of feeling, right? So. Do you see how that's very different from playing? Right? We're not doing that loud, so we're doing a piano. And now I'm at the mezzo forte a little louder. And then crescendo louder. And there's another decrescendo. So the first thing I want you to show me, can you play up to here? Nice. Wonderful job. Oh my goodness, I didn't even need to teach you that part. Good job. So, do you see how the more we practice this, it comes right naturally to you, right? I didn't even need to tell you how to play it. I just said it's crescendo, you use more bow, and you were able to figure the rest on your own. So that's very good. The more we do dynamic practice, you're gonna get even better. So this is good. Very happy about that. Now, since we've got that down, let me scroll a little more lower so we can get to this part. So let me delete this clear board. Now, we just came from the mezzo forte and we had a crescendo. Sforzando. So, it's kind of hard to say, but sforzando. And this means it's a very sudden accent. Sudden, loud accent. So whenever you see a sforzando under a note, that note is going to have a huge accent on it. So here it's... Right? It's not just... You're gonna have a huge accent at the beginning, so... Right? So after you do those sforzandos, do you see this decrescendo here? We're gonna get softer again, because... Nice. And to produce a sweet and nice sound, you're gonna have a softer tone, because we're going back to the beginning. Right? So... Right? So can you try... First, show me your sforzandos. Oh, down bow. Oh, right here. Let me draw for you. Right here. So. Good. And I love your decrescendo at the end. So, now that takes us back to the main theme again. So whatever you did in the beginning, right here, you're gonna do the same thing here. So it's the same exact thing, and it's gonna repeat throughout the piece. So can you show me piano, and then another decrescendo, and then another decrescendo. So this part, piano. And another thing I want to do, this might be a little hard for you right now, so if you can't do it, that's fine. But do you see these little, like, little marks on top of the notes? These are called accents. And accents are very powerful. So they're kind of like sforzandos, but a little less. So sudden loudness. You strike the bow on the notes. So you don't need to do too harshly because we're still in a piano, right? So... Do you see the right? You don't want to do it too aggressively, but it adds kind of like a flowing rhythm to this section because you're having that pulse, right, of the accents, and combined with the soft tone, it makes a really nice sound. So can you try this section and then end at the double line here? Oh, yes, yeah. So I can tell already you're getting better at recognizing these because even though you're playing piano, it sounds louder to me because the video call can't really. It's not that detailed, so anything that we play sounds kind of loud. But I trust that you're playing piano, so just make sure it's very soft. I loved your accents. I know you had some trouble kind of how to do the accent with your bow, but you figured it out. So more bow, right? More bow, and then on the eighth notes you use a little less bow. Dun da 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 da. Right? So good. You figured that out. I loved your decrescendos, and yeah. So this is a recurring theme. I trust that you can work on this well. So let's see if we have time for one more section. Okay. Alright, so here, I have a piano here. So get soft here. And then we finally have a decrescendo here. So let me show you what that kind of sounds like. Do you see how it started off very loud and then in the end it got very soft? Kind of like this shape. So it started loud and then we end soft. So can you try this section? Good. Everything except the rhythm here, I think you got a little confused. So, can you play this part, the beginning, up to here?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you see how right now your rhythm was like dun 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 da 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 da, right? So it's really da 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 da. So I know it's a little confusing. You sometimes play triplets, but I want you to get the rhythm. So right now you just played, but the correct rhythm is. So can you try that one more time? Good. Good, you got the rhythm here. The last thing is, I think you're playing a wrong note here. So can you show me the D sharp? You played an F sharp. So an F sharp is here. Can you try that for me? right there. So can you start from here at the A? Yeah. Da-da. Yeah. Oh, D sharp. Yeah, so now. Close. Your B was in tune, but your D sharp, make it a little lower. Try that one more time. Good. All right. So everything else was pretty good. I love your forte, and you got soft here, and it was really nice. And then last thing, make sure to not hold this note too long because we still need to move on to the next section, right? So when you get to that E, right? We don't want to go because it's not the end of the piece yet. So I love that you're trying to make your half notes longer, but sometimes, especially right before a new section, you don't want to hold your notes too long, okay? So other than that, that was really nice. I think we were able to cover a lot today. So we just have the end of this page and then this last page left. So next week, I want to try and see if we can finish. And then I'm gonna try and think about what I want to do for you. Okay, let me ask you this. Do you want to do a competition over the summer?
I don't really know.
You don't know yet. Okay, so why don't you think about that? It's up to you. I'm not gonna force you to do anything. So if you want to do it, I think it's best that we keep working on Gavotte because the more we do it together, the more you'll be able to record that, right? So if you don't want to do the competition though, we can move on to a new piece. So why don't you think about that and keep practicing. I can tell you're improving a lot. So keep practicing and really good job today. And I'll see you next week. Bye.